Everyone, my name is Henry Martinez and my friend here is Santiago Donoso.
Hello everyone.
We both are going to present and analyze a social marketing video based on consumer behavior theories.
The analysis is going to be broken up into 3 parts.
First, models that we think the DrinkWise marketers have used. Second, models that also could have been used by the drink marketers. And finally, the conclusions. DrinkWise Australia is an organization aimed at changing the drinking culture in Australia and promoting a responsible one.
The video made by DrinkWise as part of the social marketing campaign is the following one.
Jason, go and get your old man a beer, will you?
Jason, are those snags ready yet?
In a minute, love. Hey, how'd you blokes finish up the other night? It's huge. Michael, go and get your old man a beer, would you?
Michael, are those snags ready yet?
In a minute, love. How'd you blokes finish up after the other night, eh? Jake, go get your old man.
Kids form their attitude to alcohol long before they ever have a drink themselves, from their most important role model, you.
The audience can be defined by selecting it from one or more of the 13 subgroups of the 5 brand loyalty groups. These groups are brand loyals, favorable brand switchers, other brand switchers, other brand loyals, and new category users.
The source that was chosen for this ad is ordinary people that can be easily identified with any Australian that might see the ad.
In this particular case, it can be seen that the ad is focused more on the parents, the male parents. This is due to the higher consumption of alcohol of adult males compared to females. The message that the marketers from DrinkWise want to send is clear. Fathers are an influence in their child's development toward drinking habits.
Fear is an appeal mostly used for social marketing campaigns, showing dramatical consequences, as the one we're going to show you right now. Even when the DrinkWise advertisement is not showing dramatical images, it can also be classified as a moderate fear appeal.
3 different levels where a consumer goes through during a marketing communication. Those levels are ad or promotion processing, brand communication effects, and the final one, customer decision stages. Here we are going to focus just on the ad or promotion processing. During the first level, the consumer will first pay attention to the ad. Then he will learn from it by receiving the message that the ad is sending. Based on the learning process, the father will create a response, an emotion towards the ad. He might like it or hate it, and depending on that emotion, he might accept it or not. The operation of this first level can be compared with one of the hierarchies of effects model. The standard learning hierarchy explains how a consumer first learns from a product and creates its own beliefs about it. Then the consumer will create a feeling about the product by evaluating each one of those beliefs. And finally, the consumer will behave towards what he learned and feel about it. All this creates an attitude towards the product, in this case the ad.
Social marketing campaigns can be reinforced by behavioral theories. For example, the social cognitive theory involves a mutual relation between 3 aspects of an individual. The first aspect is cognition, which is basically the knowledge acquired by personal experience. Second is the environment, that represents everything that surrounds the individual. Behavior is the third aspect, and it represents the way individuals conduct themselves. Cognition can be influenced by the environment, resulting in behavioral changes. The DrinkWise marketing message can be related to this theory as follows.
Children's regular weekends involve riding their bikes, playing around, and some other similar activities. This can be seen as their cognition. On the other hand, parents' regular weekends involve having a barbecue with some friends while having a few beers and even asking their children to hand them some. This can be seen as environment. The drinking attitude children might adopt in the future, whether it's positive or negative, can be seen as the behavior. The health belief model is basically made of 5 components. The first component is perceived susceptibility. This determines the subjective risk perception of developing a particular health condition. In the ad, this can be seen as children's behaviors and attitudes that they can adopt in the future, but that parents prefer them to avoid. The second component, perceived severity, determines the feelings about the seriousness of consequences of developing a specific health problem. In the video, perceived severity takes the form of children's drinking attitudes that could go out of control in the future due to the early exposure to alcohol. This also includes issues such as dependency or alcoholism. The third component is perceived benefits. These benefits are the result of actions that might reduce severity and susceptibility, and consequently reduce the threat that they represent when are together. In the ad, benefits are translated into less risk for children to get involved in issues related to alcohol consumption like dependency, fights, accidents, and alcoholism. The fourth component, perceived barriers, takes into action the possible negative aspects of taking actions. In this TV ad, it could be seen as the uncomfortably or not being able to drink whatever or whenever as parents might be used to, like family or friends' barbecues. Finally, the last component are the cues to action. These are all of the environmental factors that could end up or could be translated into actions. The cues in this case could be other fathers' attitudes, friends or family recommendations, and in this particular case, the ad itself acts as a cue to action.
Another strategy that could have been taken by the DrinkWise marketers was the use of the guilt appeal. The emotion of guilty tells a person that have failed in their ideals. Based on this, the marketers could have made advertising with more fear appeal in order to induce them to think that thanks to them and their behavior, the child's future might be in risk. The goals that individuals have are what will influence and determine their behavior. It is expected that most fathers have specific goals for their children. These goals may include wanting them to grow in a healthier manner, study, and generally have a success and happy future. Once a father watches the ad, pay attention to it, and receive the message that is delivering, may realize that those goals related to his children are in danger and may not become true. Like this, they will possibly develop a feeling of guilt, and a change in the father's behavior can be expected.
This change in their behavior can be seen as a negative motivation. There are two types of negative motivation, internal and external. In the internal motivation is where they feel discomfort. This discomfort in the DrinkWise context will be that the father feels guilty of what may happen to his children. In the external is where they see an unattractive situation. So here they will see their children grown up with negative drinking habits as their fathers. As long as the father is feeling uncomfortable with the current situation and could be expecting a better one where he's not a bad influence to his children, it arises problem recognition. This happens when each person finds a big difference between an ideal state and their current situation. This difference is analyzed in two ways, opportunity recognition and need recognition. The opportunity recognition happens when a person finds a new and a better product. The need recognition happens when the consumer feels that something is missing. The marketers behind the DrinkWise ad could also focus in need recognition. The actual state will be one with no problems until the father receives the message from the DrinkWise ad. Then the father will be feeling guilty and possibly will change his behavior trying to avoid this feeling. What he will be doing then is trying to reach an ideal state where he doesn't feel any guilt. In order for this to happen, the DrinkWise marketers should focus the ad on creating this guilty state by using the fear appeal much better than they actually did. The DrinkWise campaign with its commercial is clearly sending the proposed message. Fathers are an influence in their child's development toward drinking habits. This is done by using the consumer behavior theories previously discussed. On the other hand, the marketers could have used more fear appeal in order to induce a guilt response, where the fathers who watch the ad may change their behavior according to keep their goals as fathers.
It is also important to excel the target used in the ad, that is men who have children. This is probably because according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics, this group has the highest alcohol consumption rate. Finally, based on the previous research and analysis, it can be said that the DrinkWise campaign will be effective thanks to the correct selection of target, media, appeal, message, and source, which are the elements of an effective communication process. Thank you very much for being with us today. We hope this information is valuable and might be helpful for you in the future.